Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ross Patterson Revolution! Brought to you by GhostBed.com.
4, 3, 2, 1, live.
Yes, James!
Whoa!
Monday morning in the stink.
In the stink, I call it Puffy Monday.
Puffy Monday. That's a great one.
If I do anything on the weekend
Yeah.
that resembles any kind of partying, it's a real Puffy Monday.
Yeah, it is. And we did a lot of partying this weekend. A lot of partying. Yeah, partying. Yeah.
Yep, totally.
We
Partying.
went hard. We went hard
I mean, as hard as you can go.
well, for a neighborhood
In
party.
the neighborhood, yeah.
Neighborhood
yeah.
party on Saturday nights. Got to meet all the neighbors. That was fun. It was a blast. But many drinks were had.
Many.
When you're a mom and dad in this world, you go hard on a Saturday night Halloween party.
Sure.
That's just the rules.
Right.
The other danger, or maybe not, maybe the only answer, the only doctor that's open on Sundays is we have a brewery that's right behind us. So
Yeah.
it was. I will say this because I was hurting Sunday, and it felt nice to put a couple beers down on Sunday to kind of level off. But I was just like, all right, cool. I feel better now. But our neighbors were. I ran into them, and they were like, I am not doing well today.
No.
Not doing well whatsoever today, and I understand it.
It's a weird new type of walk of shame, right? Which is we all in the cul-de-sac go hard, varying degrees.
Yeah.
And then you all kind of peek out the door in the morning, and it's sort of like you can see everyone's house.
Yeah.
You can see like who's still sleeping, who's like out and
all of it,
about.
yeah.
So that's an interesting new feeling that I haven't had.
It is. But
I've never been in a cul-de-sac before, so
there you go.
it was an interesting situation.
Yeah. And it felt comforting to me to know that everybody else was hurting as much as we
Yeah.
were. So it was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I feel good about this.
Yeah.
Speaking of hurting this weekend, Hunter Biden. Boy, that's that laptop from hell. Is what Trump called it during the debate. Now, I didn't understand why Trump said that during the debates. The laptop from hell.
I mean, we had talked about it on.
Well, we did a little bit,
Yeah.
but I did not know what was on that laptop that was so crazy until this weekend. Because the first video dropped on Saturday night. The Hunter Biden sex tape dropped on Saturday night. And I watched it, obviously,
Sure.
for work. For work.
I have to say, I saw it too. There wasn't much sexy about it, but carry on.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll break it down for the audience because there was another one too, which I watched yesterday. First of all, who films themselves having sex that much? If you don't have a professional film crew in there, just a quick heads up for anybody at home. If you're trying to do it on phones and things like that, like you're never going to get the angles you want, and you're going to look awful on it. You've got to get some lighting, Hunter. If you want to do it that much, you got to get some lighting, some grip in there, some electric. You got to get a full team in there to light yourself.
I'm going to disagree just as someone that's into more of an amateur porn situation.
Look, I love it as well.
That is sort of part of it.
I love it as well, but here's the difference, right?
Okay.
Here's the difference between amateur and somewhat professional, right? Kim Kardashian. If you're that famous, like Hunter Biden, look, his dad has been in politics for 47 years, right? If you're that famous, you should know what good lighting and proper sound and all that stuff will do to a sex tape if it were to get out into the world. You're too famous at that point. Now, what you and I love about amateur porn in particular is we don't know these people, right?
Right.
And that's the difference. We know Hunter Biden. I don't know the other people that we're watching in the porn world and the amateur world, and that's the excitement of it. Now, if you're Hunter Biden and you're that famous, you spend the little extra. You get the new iPhone. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're going to shoot yourself on it, like you do the things that you should in case it gets out into the world. Otherwise, you watch it And when I watch it, you feel sad. You just feel sad inside. So the first one that I watched was Saturday night. It involved him getting a blowjob, getting a foot job, and then jacking himself off in a sidewinder motion, which is a move that is seldom used on yourself. Now, typically, that is a great move for someone else to do. But you don't typically do that move on yourself because you're watching it. You're the one doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like that feels weird to me.
I'm going to stop you real quick.
Yeah.
So Giorgio and I had done on Broettes a episode with Dirty Giorgio and
Papa Giorgio.
Papa, sorry, Dirty Dan, Papa.
Yeah, we got Dirty Dan and Papa Giorgio.
I'm
here.
sorry, but anyways, we had been asking how the foot situation would work, and this young lady did exactly what we said it would be.
Yeah.
And even when I was watching it, I was like, that is a workout for the girls. Right when I said that, what did Hunter say?
He said it's a workout. I said,
that's a workout.
It's a great workout. And that's what he said during the sex tape. And you were like,
and I was like,
all right, cool. Boom. Papa Giorgio's never had a foot job? I find that hard to believe.
We were, he was telling us different ways to kind of do it, right? And the way that I said would probably be the best was the way that she did it. And I think that's what he said too.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Right, Giorgio?
I'm just clarifying that.
I just described the positions in which I thought a foot job could happen.
But you've never had one?
No.
Oh, really? That's weird.
If my dick's out, it's going somewhere else.
I got it. It depends on the person, how weird you're getting or whatever. But, you can also take the 2 feet and do it yourself. That takes a little bit of work off the lady. Whatever, right? When I saw that, I was just like, all right, cool. Kind of normal shit, nothing crazy or out of the ordinary. Therefore, I thought to myself, why would you take the time to film that? The strange part about it too was he had a camera set up in a wide. I feel like I'm taking people to film school today. A wide is like a huge master shot where you can see the entire room itself. So he was laying on a bed. The girl was between him. Whoa, that desk is on wheels.
Sorry.
And with that, you could see the entire world, but then in the video that got leaked, so apparently that was on the laptop. So that was the laptop camera. And then you can see him in the video putting his phone down by where the girl is. So he wanted to look up at himself.
Okay.
The way the two angles were set up for himself. Now, we didn't see the other one because clearly that was recorded on an iPhone, which he still has. Now, the laptop is what got stolen or actually he just left it somewhere, right?
Yeah.
He just left it at a shop.
So he took it. Yeah. The person that he took the laptop to may have overstepped and, went through. As
everybody on a laptop, like a repair service
would.
If you're watching on YouTube, hammer the like button so we can beat the algorithm. Just real quick, hammer that like button. I've taken my computer into a repair shop. And I have said, hey, man, whatever is on here is on here. This computer is from 2013, first of all. Second of all, I've had Apple products since I can remember, the 90s, right? You plug them into each other, all that stuff goes, or the cloud, and you can sync up your computer on the cloud and everything else. Like, God knows what is on here from whatever 20 years ago is, right? I walked into the repair shop and I said, hey, man, if there's some dick pics of me on here, can't control that. And you're welcome. And then I walked out and everybody got a good chuckle out of it because that's exactly what they do there. If you're an idiot, if you drop your computer off at a repair shop and you don't know that they're not looking through your pics real quick going, wonder if they got any weird shit on there. Of course, everybody does, right? Now, Hunter Biden's was next level. I mean, he was really using that laptop. I don't know how much storage he had on that or if he got some more storage put in.
Sure.
But, to sum it up, the first one was a foot job, a blow job of some sort, and then his own sidewinder technique. This is the reason why you subscribe on YouTube, so I can show you this on video. It's hard to tell you what that is on an audio show, but on video, the sidewinder is up this way. Now, as a dude, clearly he's right-handed because he was doing it with his right hand. As a dude, that is a hard move to do on your own. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to get your shoulder in that position. Mm-hmm. Therefore, if somebody else is doing that to you, Congratulations. And chances are that girl's on another level, right?
Right.
But for Hunter Biden to do it on his own, I thought was weird. And then the other part that was weird, obviously, was the 14 minutes of him smoking a crack pipe while all of this was happening. Now, I'm sure that enhances the sex, and good for him, right? Not even really mad about the crack. If you're going to take the time to videotape yourself with a prostitute or whoever it was, smoke some crack throughout it, right?
Sure.
You're Hunter Biden. That's on brand. And
Right.
that's great. But the girl's head was blurred out, and that was the main question that everybody was kind of asking Saturday night, where it was like, hey, man, when this video dropped, they were like, why is her head blurred out? The only explanation I have, and I talked to a lawyer friend of mine about it, was the speculation is the girl was underage. So, look, if you're fucking videotaping yourself having sex, fine. The underage thing might trip him up down the line, but we'll see what happens with that. Then the one that dropped on Sunday is questionable. I watched it, again, for work. I don't want to do these things, but you make me, Hunter Biden. I don't want to watch sex tapes all day long, but you made me do it, Hunter Biden. It starts off with a picture before this video of Malia Obama's credit card. And it had all the numbers on there. So that's a hard one just to make up if you were just going to make that up, right? Because you could run that card and clearly see if it's Malia Obama or not, right? And there was a bunch of cocaine residue on the card. And then there was looked like maybe 5 or 6 lines that were chopped up. And people were like, hey, how do we verify if this is real? Look at the size of the lines, right? If it's somebody who hasn't done a cocaine before, you're going to get those little tiny lines like you see there. Also, you see the credit card number. That would be a hard one to make up to me. Why that picture's on Hunter Biden's laptop, I have no idea. Then the speculation turned towards the sex tape. That there was a video of him having sex with a black girl from behind. I watched that one again as well for work. Jessie, I apologize. It was for work. Sure. Same thing. The head was blurred out. Now, did she have the same body type? Because he was having sex with this girl from behind. Did she have the same body type as Malia Obama? Yes, she did. And they're trying to say there was a birthmark or something on the back of the leg that was the same or whatever. But you couldn't tell who that was, so I'm not ready to make that call on this. I'm not going to rush to judgment on that of whether it was or wasn't. You couldn't see her face, and there isn't some crazy tattoo that's a quintet of dolphins jumping over a rainbow to be like, oh, right. She's got the same tattoo on her back as Malia Obama. I don't know. I'm assuming they put that picture and that video together to make that cause happen, but there's a lot of speculation on the internet. Me personally, I'm not ready to make that call and say it definitely was her. I'd like to see the face, obviously, but it certainly looks like the same person. But who knows? Right. Now,
that's a bridge a little bit too far for me.
For me too. Okay. And it's, unless I see a face on something like this, now the credit card thing and the lines chopped up, why was that on his computer then? I don't know.
Look, it's not even verified that it was, but
it's her credit card number.
No, I know, but we're not verified that it's coming from his laptop.
Right.
So yeah, there's all kinds of things.
Is there a possibility that came from somewhere else and they put that together?
Yes.
Maybe. Yes, absolutely.
So that one's a little bit, we're saying it only because it is out there, but totally unverified and a bridge too far for a lot of people.
100%. So I don't know. Now for you Joe Biden fans out there, I don't think this will affect the election. I really don't. So if you're out there and you're a Biden fan and you're worried that this is going to affect the election, I don't think that it is because of COVID and everything else. As of yesterday morning, 60 million people have voted already.
Yeah.
60 million. So I think we're all done with last minute surprises that are going to shock and change the election. I don't think it's going to happen at this point. If this tape or all these tapes and all this other shit from Hunter Biden's laptop had dropped 6 weeks ago, yes. I think now it's too late. The week before, it's too late. If you're voting for Biden, you're voting for Biden. If you're voting for Trump, you're voting for Trump. So, is Hunter Biden a weird piece of shit? Yes. Can you control your kids and what they're going to do? No. So I don't.
If you had any question, just on a different note, if you had any question about systemic racism or anything, the fact that Hunter Biden can be this person
Yeah.
at the very base lowest level and still be a high,
Making a
high
shit ton of money.
level like lawyer and work in politics essentially at this point. It's interesting.
I'd like
interesting.
to tweak your statement if I don't mind. I don't.
Please.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't think it's necessarily white on this. I think it's fame.
Well, it's money and it's opportunity and it's privilege and all of
and
these
it's your
fucking
last
things,
name,
right?
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
your last name and you're a rich white kid in a
Right.
successful family,
Because
right?
there was another controversy with LeBron James's kid, who lit up he's 17 or 18 years old. Bronny is his name. He's got a huge social media following. He lit up a huge blunt on his, what was it? Is it Snapchat or Instagram Live? I think it was IG Live, right?
Yeah, I think it's his Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, it was on IG Live, and it was like LeBron is playing in the bubble in Orlando, so he can't do anything. So there's been these ongoing memes and jokes about what he's going to do to this kid when he gets out. But let's face it, it's LeBron James's kid. Nothing is going to happen.
Sure.
He's rich as fuck, and that's what happens. Like, dude, if you're that rich, that young, you're bored, and you start doing fucking weird ass shit. We had talked about the drug use on our last episode of like what drugs we've done and all that shit, and somebody was talking about smoking crack with the Kennedys and everything else. Like, me personally, obviously I didn't have like a famous fucking family or rich or anything in the back like when I was a kid. The drugs on like my part was like getting ready for LA. I knew what LA was going to be like, and it's just like, hey man, I never wanted to catch myself in a situation where if something fucked up went on that I couldn't get out of there, I couldn't control myself, or I didn't know what it felt like, and therefore that's exactly what happened to me. Because you get there and you're like, dude, you get roofied by a gay guy at a fucking bar or whatever. And
Sure.
You
got to know what roofies feel like.
I
I
knew what it was. I got the fuck out of there and I got home. Like, Coke. I'm not a big blow guy. I know I've talked about this a million times, but I wish I was, because everybody looks like they're having so much fun on it. It just doesn't do shit for my personality, and I'm not that great of a person. So, on it. I wish I was, because everybody's having so much fun.
Gosh.
And then in this new St. James Street James book, you're going to read a lot about cocaine. Here's the fucking paperback, by the way. I'm waiting for the hardback proof this week, and then it'll be up for pre-sale this week. But with that, there's a lot of coke in there, and it's just, it was legal back in the 1900s when they were doing it, the early 1900s.
Sure.
And it looked like so much fun, and you were like, but you got to know what you're good on and what you're not good on.
Right.
Hunter Biden is clearly great at crack,
Yeah.
He's been able to do shit. Did he pass out with it in his mouth? Yes. But is he
Sure.
tragic walking the streets like Delonte West? No, he's not.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Yet. So it is what it is. But, for both sides here, I don't think any of this affects the election. Is it embarrassing? Yes, it is. But you should have gotten this info out 6 weeks ago versus now, because we're 7 sleeps away from the election at this point, and it's done. There is no more debates. There is no more, because this happened right after that last debate.
Right.
We heard about the laptop. Nobody knew it was on the laptop. We're finding out what was on it. But if Trump was able to squeeze this in during the last debate, maybe, but it's too late for both sides. Like, our minds are made up, and we're going to vote, and that's it.
Right.
So I don't think anything's going to happen. You?
No, I don't think so. I mean, unless the Panera voters, mobilize.
Tell
Do you guys?
Tell the audience what this is. You and I talked about this morning on the way to work,
Okay,
and I was
because
like, what? What?
Because I read this thing. I didn't even know that they were calling them Panera voters, but essentially, suburban women, right, are the new thing on the agenda, whatever. Trump was talking about it at his rally, where he was like, "Suburban women, like me, please."
Yeah. It was
Just
very
like
funny.
me. It was funny.
Yeah.
He definitely mischaracterized what they are concerned about, which is just what happens with women anyways. But basically, they're women that voted for Trump and are now going the other way and don't feel good about it. And they meet at Panera, and they all have these names for their groups that they meet with at Panera. One of them is the Bayside, or the Bayshore Nasty Gals.
Ah,
Yeah. Another one's called
in Ohio?
Yes. The other one's called Girl. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we're mad girls. One is called Red Wine and Blue.
No. Red
You're
wine
ever
and
wondering why I try so hard to not fall into the suburban mom category? This is why, right? But they're saying that they won him the election in 2016 and they are now going to tank it. Buyer's remorse, they don't like him anymore. And I get that. Like I do get it. I get that, when you're raising boys or you're raising kids and they're a little bit old enough to, listen to what he's saying on television and news and stuff like that, it's hard, right? But you do think of, I guess try and not have it on and just really think of like what your life is financially and, real issues that you're
What's the Panera? What's the name of that Panera group?
Which one?
Are they the Panera Moms? Is that what they're being called?
The Panera voters.
Oh, the Panera voters. Okay, great.
They're Panera voters. And actually, I was looking it up, and there are, because it makes so much sense, right?
Yes. Especially in Ohio.
Ohio and everywhere, though, because there is a Panera always
On every
right
block.
outside,
Yep.
the suburbs.
Yes.
That everyone goes and meets and breakfast and after church and all of this. And so I was looking it up, and there's so many articles from everywhere, New York Times, Washington Post, whatever, talking about the Panera voter, the caramel latte swilling, hormone-free chicken munching, Wi-Fi surfing suburban voters. And it was just hilarious to me, and I had to be like, dude.
The reason I laugh so hard is my grandfather lives in Ohio. He goes to Panera every day.
It's a
every
thing.
single day. Yeah. And it was a thing where we were from in Wilmington.
Absolutely.
Like there was a Panera and all that stuff. I think Trump is fine with the suburban women voters. Me personally,
I don't know.
I know there is some contention in the suburbs of Ohio. A friend of ours posted that their sign got burned down in Ohio for Biden. But
so I think what it is I am starting to see more that before, when it was taboo to talk about Trump in the suburbs, right? In the cul-de-sacs, things like this. Now it's a little bit taboo to talk about Biden.
yes.
And it's kind of totally swung. So now they feel like they are silent majority in that way.
Correct.
That even the house that we took over, right? The people that used to live in our house, like people in the cul-de-sac were talking about how they were very liberal.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what I mean? And so it's definitely switched. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and the fun thing about our house is, or when you move into any new house, right? You typically get some of their old mail and shit for a few weeks, right? Mm-hmm. You also wonder who your significant partner is voting for, and if they're honest with you about it, right?
Right.
When the house we'd moved in, we heard they were very liberal.
Yes.
However, homegirl, the wife of whoever owned the house before us, all of her mail-in, her mail, was Donald Trump. Like, Donald Trump needs you more than ever, and blah 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 blah. And I was just like,
right, but she was the very liberal one.
but was she? Is the question. Like, you never know.
You never know.
You never know. And look, you never know what's going to happen in any of these things. There was a guy in the message boards here on YouTube. Again, hammer that like button to get us on up the algorithm. But there was a guy in here who was just like, if you're listening to Ross, he's clearly saying Biden is going to win. He's conceded that. No, I absolutely have not. Trump is. I still believe Trump is going to win, and I feel pretty confident in that. Speaking of which, the new polls just came out about 15 minutes ago before we came on air. The Rasmussen poll, which was the only correct poll in 2016, which is a big poll. Everybody knows the Rasmussen polls. Like, I would say probably them and Quinnipiac, and there's one more, UPI, I think it's called. Those are kind of like the three big ones, I guess. Rasmussen today, as of 15 minutes ago, has Trump up by 1. The same exact poll they had in 2016, and they mirrored the numbers. So they took the top 15 polls, and they put the numbers up. This is, again, about 15 minutes ago. They put the polls from the top 15 people, like New York Times, CNN, Fox, all that other stuff, right, up on the screen versus the screen from 2020, it's identical. And the only one that has it for Trump is Rasmussen, the same ones that had it at this exact moment, this exact day in 2016 as well. And I've been saying this for weeks, man, that the whole thing feels like 2016 all over again.
Yeah, there's definitely deja vu as far as now it's Iran that's interfering in the election, and it just
Iran with Russia. It feels like the same thing. And then you're dealing with another laptop, like same as Hillary's. And Nate Silver, when this dropped right before we came on air, is taking a lot of heat because his poll today was 91%. 91% chance of victory for Biden because he's doing a daily poll. So people are hammering him right now after the Rasmussen thing came out and said, hey, man, what the fuck? Like, you were wrong in 2016. What is going on? And why are you this wrong now? Because the Rasmussen poll is included in his models. And he's saying, look, it would be dumb of us to not put this poll in there. However, we still believe that, Biden has a 91% chance of winning the election and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, man, it all feels very 2016. But with 60 million people that have already voted, the mail-ins is the only thing you'll have to wonder about. Now, you were saying there was a postmark date that they're due by, right?
Yeah, so it has to be postmarked by a certain time in order for them to be counted. Now, if something were to happen and they come in, it would only be a couple days, basically.
Sure.
And that amount that would be that late for some reason would be so minimal, I believe. Like, I just don't believe there's that many people that are going to wait to send in their ballot from literally the second. Do you know what I mean? Because it has to be postmarked, you know what I mean, by a certain time. I don't know what that date exactly is. Is it the 3rd or is it a couple days before? I'm not sure, but I find it hard to believe, but that many people would wait to mail in until that time, right?
Yeah.
And so you're going to have a pretty good idea, although Democrats will say, we got to wait for all these, fictitious late, mail-ins to come in to really see. So my sort of prediction with the 3rd is that no one's really going to concede basically on that point, right?
Right.
That there's going to be so many. It would have to be, right, such a landslide, which I don't think it's going to be, but it would have to be so far ahead that people are like, look, there's not that many mail-ins coming in, right?
Right.
And I don't think that's going to happen. But
yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. But I will say this: the media is all in right now. Like, all of these sites are getting stopped, including us. Our show now, as of this morning on YouTube, where it's like, hey man, we're stopping the subscribers, we're stopping everything. Everybody is on this pause, media-wise. It's a media blackout essentially for anything regarding Trump or conservatism or anything else until the election happens. Again, that's why we keep asking you to hammer the like button so more people can view this.
Right.
Because you take the Hunter Biden laptop thing. Like, I tried to test this theory out on Saturday night, where I had the link to the video. I mean, a lot of people have obviously seen that sex tape now. And I was like, you've never been able to post that on Facebook or Instagram or anything else, right? So I was like, but Twitter, you can post flat out porn if you want to. Like, I mean, full graphic porn scenes on there. When I put that link in of like Hunter Biden's sex tape, because everybody was asking about it, as soon as I pressed publish, it immediately sent a flag up that says, we are not allowing this link on Twitter because we feel it may be harmful. No other explanation than that. Harmful to who is what I don't understand. The Democratic Party, or because the girl's head in the video was blurred out. So what does that matter? You're allowing porn stars to put full scenes on their pages, and it's like,
right,
dude, anybody can view that shit, but like, these links are, I mean, immediately blacked out, which I thought was fucking insane. And then,
look, the point is, like, Twitter, they're counting on Twitter and all the social medias to block these things that really aren't relevant. If you really, really get down to it, like, the only relevant part of this would be Biden's involvement in any Ukraine dealings that his business partner was alleging to, right?
Sure.
Not Hunter Biden's sex tapes. Like, that, I just think is, again, a bridge too far, a little bit too dirty as far as like politics go, in that I don't think it has anything to do. Right?
Yeah. So somebody was asking for the video here. They were like, hey, just email it to us and we'll post it. Somebody actually posted in Ross Patterson Revolution. So it's a private Facebook group. You can go there and actually click the link if they allowed it. I'm not really sure. But either way, let me know tomorrow or at STJames on Instagram or Twitter or something like that. And I'll send you the link. But
the point is, like, our tiny brains just can't handle that.
My tiny brain can't. It can. But it's realizing what everything is. Like, but all across the board, Hollywood included. Like, we watched Borat 2 last night, right? Which, man.
So do you remember when I said a couple weeks ago that I hate Borat?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yep.
I love the first one, man.
I know you do. I know you do.
I love the first one. Everybody else did, right?
Sure.
My wife. I mean, that was quoted 58 million times still to this day. And
I saw a meme, a meme that was like, the curse of 2020 is that people are going to be quoting Borat again.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
That is just the end of.
They're definitely not. So we watched the movie last night and it was awful. I mean, it was just terrible. And I love the first one. I'm a huge, gigantic fan of it. This one feels like, hey man, let's rush out a movie that is a political hit piece as quickly as we can, because it has to do with his daughter, trying to get her to marry Hunter Pence in this one.
Hunter Pence.
Mike Pence, I'm sorry. Man, I keep combining Hunter Biden and Mike Pence. That'd be a weird kid, wouldn't it? Oh. A lot of mom porn, a lot of mother porn. Mm-hmm. Mike Pence, I did that. Yeah, somebody else did that too. But either way, it was just so forced in that character to me because of the memes and because of everybody saying it over and over and over again. Like, I felt like I was watching somebody's dad, like a bad dad joke where you're just like, man, that was 15 years ago. It's like somebody screaming out, where's the beef at this point, where I think we watched maybe 3/4 of it. And I couldn't
right.
The bits felt forced. He had to wear different costumes of himself because Borat was too famous. Like, he was getting shut down everywhere he went.
Yeah.
And it's just, people did recognize him and all that shit. So there's not a lot you can do. It almost wasn't that character anymore because he was in 5 other character bodies. So
right.
it was strange and it made me sad, for comedy. I was just like, God damn it, man.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be great. I was hoping, no.
I know.
It's just, it was too late for that character. And there's some sequels that it's just too late for, where it's like, man, you got to strike while the iron's hot and get in there before people get sick of you and that character. And that's, I'm definitely sick of that character now.
Yeah.
Politics aside, man, we've done it. We've done it a million times at this point. We've heard it,
Yeah.
We've heard every quote you could possibly hear on this. There's nowhere to go with Borat anymore. Now, you've always hated him, so it doesn't really matter anyways.
No.
But,
So I was just like, yep.
As soon as he came on and said, my wife, you checked out.
Yep. I checked out. And then I really, really checked out, spoiler alert, when they did the period dance.
Period scene. Yeah.
At the debutante ball. Leave these fucking people alone. They were being cool to your weird ass. You know what I mean? And you just fucking exploded it. It's like they let those weird ass motherfuckers into their Southern debutante ball. And they just threw it all out the window. Now, if you find that funny, good for you.
Good for you.
Good for you.
To me, I'm able to separate the art from the shit and everything else, and the comedian from everyone else. It's just that character to me is too dated now. It was too much. It was too much fame at one point, and now you can't go back and do it anymore. Because whenever somebody does that voice at a party or if you're out, it's an automatic eye roll where you're just like, holy shit, who's the guy quoting Borat? That you just can't wait to get away from, where you're just like, who's that fucking dude quoting Borat, I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. What did I start saying? I was like, whoop, there it is.
Yeah. Jessie
I'm
was
just gonna
bringing out all the old
You know what I mean? Why
phrases.
not?
Yeah.
It's the bomb.
Don't.
It's
we're not.
the
Nope.
bomb.com.
No, we're not doing it anymore.
Oh, what? Problem? Whoop.
No.
There it is.
Not doing it anymore, James. Can't hear it.
Houston, we have a problem.
Oh God. We opened up the floodgates. here.
Anything? Any of these gonna come back? No. Okay.
Not one, James. Not one single one. Amy Coney Barrett's going through today, by the way. So
Yes.
she is. That is a done deal. Congratulations to her. In any normal circumstance, you would be congratulating this woman, and this would be a huge deal. But this is getting about zero press today.
Yeah.
So the interesting part was we watched the 60 Minutes last night with Joe Biden and Trump, and then Kamala. It still feels weird saying Kamala.
I just never. I get so scared because I don't think I'm. You know
Saying
what I
it
mean?
right.
Like I'm like, oh wait, is that the right way, or was I thinking not to say it that way, and then I said it the.
Yep.
And she's a crazy.
She is.
fembot.
Boy, that was a thing last night. Look. I think Trump did himself a service by releasing that entire interview before. Then you couldn't edit that any other way. And we know some people who have showed up at interviews with someone recording all of the shit so it doesn't get edited.
And look, it's sad that you have to do that, but you do.
Yeah, you do. But I will say this, as far as by the way, I fucking call him like I see him on this. Like I don't really. Whoever wins at this point. Like we're gonna vote and all that other shit. So whatever happens. But so I can look at it objectively. I think with most of this stuff, I think 60 Minutes went just as hard on Biden as they did on Trump. And now whether that was cut later because of what happened last week with Trump leaking the entire interview, I don't know. But Kamala did herself zero favors in that interview, and God, she's the most unlikable woman I can remember in quite a while.
I would just like I've always said, I would just like her to be whatever she is.
Yeah.
And let people decide, right? Like this thing of trying to soften and laugh at every question and talk about her being mamala and liking hip hop.
Yeah.
It just, it's disingenuous, right? Like just if you're a hard ass bitch, be that.
Yeah.
And let people be like, all right, that'll work. At least you are who you are, and you're saying what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
That's all. It's sad that we need her. She had to be coached into smiling so that people can, be okay with her. But it's just what it is.
Yeah, and shit. The only thing that's one of the big topics for this whole election for me personally is the Supreme Court packing. Which I think is definitely going to happen. Especially, he finally answered it last night, and that was the big news. That he finally answered it. That he said, "Hey, man."
He didn't though.
He did. He said, "Look, what are you going to do about the Supreme Court packing, and what's your stance on it?" And he said, 180 days in, after I get elected, I'm going to form a commission. He goes, both conservatives and Democrats, so it's fair. I just want to be fair about it. And then we're going to go out and decide whether or not we should add seats to the Supreme Court, which is clearly a yes at this point. That's as far as he's taken it so far.
I personally think it's a no, but it's his way of getting out of it. So it's hey, they told me it's not a good idea, right?
Yeah.
Or hey, they told me. So it's taking it again off of him, out of the realm of answering, and into the world of, I'm going to get some experts together and talk to them about it. And then whatever they say, it's off my plate.
Right. The oddest thing to me in that interview last night was how different. I mean, just drastically different. Kamala, who gives a shit? I don't care. Kamala is with Biden. Like their policies are polar opposites of each other. And it's clearly two people that were married together on some sort of internal polling versus who actually should have had the vice presidential job at that point, because they could not be further away on their political beliefs. And it's odd to see and hear where you're like, all right, if he does die, and they brought that up last night.
Yeah.
If he does die and she's in there, what do you feel about this and this and this? And what are you going to do? And blah, blah, blah. Look, to me, on that whole thing of whether or not Biden dies in office, he'll be 78 if he wins, 82 on the way out of there. I think it's not really going to matter because even if, let's say he dies 2 years in, like he has said, by the way, I'm not being creepy or morbid, but he said, hey man, I could die a couple years into this thing and then she takes over. There's no shot that she would get reelected in 2024, simply for how unlikable she is. And she can't draw anybody to these rallies and anything like that. So if people are worried about that, I don't know that that's going to make a dent either, or it's just like, she's not going to win in 2024. So it is what it is. But it was definitely strange listening to both of them talk about issues that they are so far apart on that you're like, how is this your candidate? How is this your pick? And then the gangster that is Mike Pence. That fucking guy, man, he's so weird. He's so weird.
So weird, dude.
But he's able to come in and just crush these interviews and crush these debates where you're just like, shit. There's a strange part of me, like, and I never would have said this, that wants to have dinner with him and just say, hey, man, I just want to figure out how smart that guy really is. Because I don't really know much about him, and all the weird shit I hear about him is, and it's not coming from the left. It's just about him in general, right. With him calling his wife mother and all that other shit. Like, it's strange, but he's a very bright guy that is a professional, polished politician where you're just like, that guy's unflappable.
Yeah.
He just comes in.
What was I saying last night? That like, we are kind of like Trump and Pence.
Oh, me and you?
Yeah. Which one are you?
Yeah.
Try and guess. So you come in, you blow it all up, you whatever, and then I have to sit
Yell
down
at
and be
everybody?
like, yeah. And I sit down and go, he's just, look, he's very passionate about his work, and he cares about you guys, right? Next question.
Oh, it's true. It's true, though.
It's true, but look,
I'm not going to say otherwise.
It works, right? Like somehow that worked with Pence had to come in right after, by the way, right?
Yeah.
So that you don't leave it like that.
Yes,
Then Pence comes in and look, he's just very passionate about the
Cleaned
American.
it up.
Like turned it all around, and it works. A little good cop, bad cop for you.
The ultimate in that interview was Leslie Stahl questioning Trump on his health plan. And then at the end, after he walked out, he had Kayleigh McEnany walk in with the 15,000-page binder and just said, here's my health plan. So this is from the president. He wants you to look at the health plan. And then she leafed through it. And it was like, first of all, no one can read 1,500 pages that fast. But she leafed through it and she was like, I didn't really see any changes in there. When did you have time to read that, Leslie?
Right. Right.
You had time on the show?
Tiny old ass Leslie Stahl couldn't even lift
No.
it. It was not cool. Didn't like it. But it is.
Oh, man. Nah.
What it is.
Yeah. So here we are, kids, 7 sleeps away from the election, and it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast. I'm nervous for election night. We're doing a live election show from Whiskey Tango Foxtrot Ice House downtown Austin. Everybody's welcome. It is free, and you will get absolutely rocked with us. Why I said I'm starting to get nervous is there was a conversation that I overheard on the way out when Dan and Dakota Meyer were about to record American Party. And they were like, so you're bringing the IVs, right? And Dakota's like, yeah. So I got the IVs, whatever. And I was like, huh? And his last name is Meyer, obviously. So he was talking about the Myers cocktail. And I was like, oh. And I was like, so what? So are you getting IVs? And he goes, yeah, we're gonna put them in live on air. So Dan says he's going to put them in live on air.
It does. Okay.
It depends on who finds the vein, obviously, but
like it's a movement thing.
It is.
So like
correct.
we tried to do it on our show.
Yeah.
And if we're trying to talk and whatever, and you move a little bit and it gets
pinched
whatever
up.
it's called, where
It starts ballooning up. Yeah.
So be careful.
Some people are great at it. I'm gonna do a hard pass on that, obviously, because I hate
right.
needles. But I'm doing a hard pass on that. I know Dan is definitely going to do it. Are you doing that as well, Giorgio? Oh, you don't really drink that much.
Yeah, I don't get too fucked up, but I can confirm that they are at Dan's house.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, and he is measuring and dosing them out as we speak.
Oh boy, I'm sitting out that one, obviously, because I hate needles and I don't want to do it. But we were watching that Bert Kreischer special on Netflix. I guess Bert does IVs all the time, but he had one on that show.
Mm-hmm.
There is people that love them and can do them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one of them. The only time that I was involved in a situation where it was necessary was I went to a wedding of a college friend of mine who got so rocked the night before that the next day he physically didn't think he could make it to the altar. And so they had to call a doctor in and give him an IV in his hotel room for him to get back in. And the beauty of it was his dad, who was a doctor. And it was just like, I'll never forget the voice. I'm not going to say who it was, but I'll never forget his voice. Because I was out in the, right outside the door in the hotel on the fourth floor or whatever. And I just overheard his dad saying, "Oh, Jesus Christ. Get your life together. You're about to get married, son."
Right.
And then his dad had to give him an IV.
Sure. They still together? Or?
Nope. No, they're not.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen. Rostradamus.
I called it, though. I said, look, there's no way this is going down. There is no way this is going to last. Sure enough, it didn't.
Right.
So there you
I
have
don't even
it.
know who you're talking about or what the situation was, and I could have told you that.
I'll tell you after the show.
Sure.
You got to hydrate, kids, and that's important. That's real important. Hammer the like button. We got some sponsors who pay for this show to be on the air, luckily. First and foremost, ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros, Jabes.
Yeesh.
Finest mattresses in the lands. 30% off if you're a member of the military, first responder, a teacher, or work in the government. For the rest of us dum-dums, there's a 30% off bundle package. You can bundle all the items together, mattresses, sheets, adjustable bases, pillows, you name it, and you get 30% off of everything. Go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros today and get yourself a bundle package and or a mattress. And as always, they got a 36-month pay-as-you-go program, no interest at ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. Huge, gigantic fan of those guys. Next up, we got manscaped.com, Jabes.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. What up, girl? What up, girl? Shaving your nethers all the way down and all the way back, depending upon how weird you're getting, right? Mm-hmm. And then they got the Weed Whacker, which is for your nose, eyebrows, and ears. Look, it's one of those kits that is a must-have. It is extremely nice, like really upscale. So if you have it sitting on your counter, if you're a dude at home or even a lady at home, it looks great where you're just like, oh, all right, sweet. What you don't want is like an old barbershop neck trimmer for your pubes. You're going to nick a ball or something like that. That's going to be gross. So go to manscaped.com, get yourself a kit today. Promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off and free shipping. You get free shipping there at manscaped.com. Promo code REVOLUTION, 20% off, and the leather bag is where it's at. Last but not least, James, we got StrikeForceEnergy.com.
Boom, 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 boom. Shablanker.
Shablankers. Finest. The finest energy drink in the land. That'll get you going for 6 hours. Boom. Put a little boom, boom in that drink. Couple squirts and you're good to go. 4 flavors: grape, original, lemon, and orange. Tasty, tiny little tin pouch. Rip it open and squeeze it into any liquid available, and you are ready to rock that day. You get a 10-pack, a 40-pack, or a 750 milliliter bottle. They ship everywhere in the entire world. Go to StrikeForceEnergy.com. Promo code REVOLUTION. Get you 20% off, Jabes. 20.
I need to showcase a necklace that I got.
What?
Yes.
What'd you get?
It's a Be Best.
No
necklace
way. Are you serious?
To replace my Blessed. And
Who got you that?
Chris Dupay.
Oh, Dupay. Yeah, he's in the
Are
boards
you
all
in
the
the
time.
boards, Chris?
He's in the boards all the time.
Because
you got a Be Best necklace?
My gosh, quality so much like nicer than my
is it real
Blessed.
gold?
I don't know, but it really does feel like it, and it's way nicer, and that's amazing.
You got it on backwards, but we'll flip it around. We'll flip it around.
I wasn't really sure. Well, I'm right-handed, so.
Oh, gotcha.
But
we'll flip it around, but that is hilarious.
Yeah.
Somebody sent that into the show?
Yeah.
It's so great. I'm a big fan of that. Be Best. Is it SS or T at the end?
It's ST, but I think the idea is if you know, you know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Because you had
the
a
best-
Bless necklace before.
Right.
It was rotting away.
Yeah, it was.
It was losing all the color on it.
But that's how blessed I was.
It was. You were that blessed.
I was that blessed.
And I don't blame you for being that blessed. You know, you're one of the finest in the biz, Jabes. Like, you need to be.
Well, I like to wear
best.
necklaces that kind of weed out the people that I don't want to hang out with, right?
Yes.
So the blessed was for people that were like, oh my gosh, I love that.
Right. Nope, not a friend.
You think it's a joke? We're cool.
Yeah.
Now this, it would be like, oh, be best. You know, they'll know. Mm-hmm. If you know, you know.
I want to get your take on this Chelsea Handler thing, by the way.
Okay.
With 50 cents.
Okay.
A lot of people are raging online about this. I want your take on it. So 50 Cent came out and said, I just looked at Joe Biden's tax code, and I'm definitely voting for Trump.
Right.
2 other rappers joined in on that. Lil Pump today. Are you a Lil Pump fan? No. That's a hard no from Dirty Dan. What about you, Giorgio?
Oh, sorry. I'm
Lil
on a
Pump?
little delay. Yeah, Little Pump trashed a green room at Lollapalooza of mine in 2017 and is a little bitch.
Really?
Yeah, he
He
tough
looks
talked
like
one
it.
of my artist girlfriends. He had like 6'5" security guys,
Yeah.
and he kicked the toilet off
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Lil Pump fan. It's interesting to see, though, a bunch of black rappers coming out in support for Trump. But let's face it, man, you make that much money, you want to protect yourself, right?
Right.
And then Chelsea Handler came out. She used to date 50 Cent, and she was like, I will pay you.
I will pay your taxes.
I will pay your taxes
if you
you
vote
switch and vote for Biden. And people are coming after her online saying, well, here's the white savior again coming in. And
Well, there's more to that tweet, though. Do you have it?
No,
it was something like, do I need to remind you that you're black?
yes.
Or
yes, she said, do I need to remind you that you're black?
Yeah.
Which
So-
never goes over well.
Look.
Chelsea Handler, racist is trending. Like, you know.
Look, I mean, she's not, but
She's not
she's
racist.
a comedian. She's starting to get back to her roots of talking shit and not giving a fuck, which a lot of these woke comedians have done. Whitney is not back yet, but I think
what do you
Amy
mean?
Schumer is back a little bit. There was a moment when those girls and the way that they would talk and the things that they would say and the offensive things or whatever, they started to feel bad about them as they were getting older. Amy Schumer, Chelsea Handler, whatever.
Right.
They're starting to come back a little bit of like, look, everyone's too offended. You know what I mean? Everyone's
Yeah.
too sensitive now. I'm going back to just talking shit. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. Right?
Yeah. Look, she's getting killed for this online about, you know, a white person trying to own a black person again. And Chelsea Handler, racist is trending and all this other shit. Do I think she's racist? No. Do I think this assumption that all black people have to be Democrats fucking insane to me? Yes. Like, dude, if you're 50 Cent, I'm only voting for like 3 things, right? It's just taxes, man. Like, a lot of Republicans are just voting for taxes, finances, and all that other shit. You work that hard to be rich, then you don't want to lose your money and give it away to fucking people after that when it was like, motherfucker, I was poor growing up, dude. I want to keep the money and enjoy it and all that shit. I understand why these black celebrities are like, dude, I want to keep my fucking money. Like, I get it. And the exodus that is happening from California to Texas and Nashville and all that other shit, like, because you want to keep your money. I understand it, but yeah, man, you can't say like it's just too woke, bro. You got too woke on yourself. Like, you were awake and then you got too woke.
Right.
You were too much. Your eyes were too open, I guess, on this one.
Right.
You
And
had
I think
you had to know what the optics were going to be on this one, right?
Right. And I think had she not done like hello privilege, it's me, Chelsea, or like really went on
Yeah.
a whole crusade to try and figure out the black experience, this may not have gotten as much. It may just have been like Chelsea being Chelsea, right? Being offensive.
Yeah.
But she's kind of done it to herself. Although, you know, is she totally wrong in what she's saying, right? Like, you are black, you are very rich, but are you thinking about what those taxes could do for communities of color, right? I mean, it's basically what she's saying, but she's not saying it in that way.
Yeah.
She's saying it in like a white savior, like you're saying, owning him, all of that. Like there is a way to say it.
There is. I just
like you turned your back on your community once you made money, whatever it is.
Right. I just look at it from the standpoint of, look, when Biden was in last time with Obama, who was our first black president, the tax money clearly wasn't going to the black communities to help them.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's like, dude, you already went through it for 8 years, right? And they feel like they did not get any help, in particular Chicago.
Right.
Where Chicago is still Chicago right now. There's a reason why they call it Chirac. Like, therefore, it's like, dude, why did he change this time? Like, 4 years later, he woke up, Biden was going to wake up and realize that he wasn't on the same party. Like, that whole narrative doesn't make any sense to me. Where I'm just like, you had 8 years to do that. Like, what happened then that you're going to change the black community? I think personally, black people are waking up and being like, man, I can choose for myself. I don't need a white savior to come in like Chelsea Handler and tell me who to vote for.
Yeah, I mean, but that's obvious, isn't it? Or I don't know.
One would think.
Okay.
I don't know. Is it? Like, that's the question I don't have because I'm not black. Therefore, I'm not going to fucking answer that.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But Chelsea Handler, didn't do yourself any favors with that one.
I think she thought it was a text, maybe.
Yeah.
Because you can text your ex that.
Yeah, but just not
Don't
maybe tweet it out there.
Sure.
And then I watched the Fallon interview, by the way, with Bernie Sanders on Friday night.
Yeah.
Fallon asked him an interesting question that I've been getting a lot here since we've moved to Texas. I mean, I get a bunch of messages from people of like, hey man, is Texas turning blue? And Jimmy Fallon asked Bernie Sanders on Friday nights. Was it Friday or Saturday night? I forget. Not Saturday night. Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
Either way, whenever that interview was. He said, hey, why are you guys spending so much money in Texas? Do you really believe that can flip blue? And Bernie Sanders had an interesting answer. He said, I believe that Texas is the future, and it is the future for progressives. And he goes, there's so many delegates in this state. I think it's second behind California. Simply because of the population. It's one of the biggest states there is behind California. That they're building for the future. So they're investing money in Texas for the future because they believe that it can flip. Now, to all my friends that have been texting me and asking me what my thoughts are on this my thoughts are this, man. I think because of the mass exodus of California in particular, moving to Texas, they will bring their politics with them. I do not think it will flip blue in this election, but I say within 10 years, 100% the state of Texas will flip blue. I have zero doubts in that. And I might get buried from the people from
Didn't
Texas.
Bernie say that though?
He did, but it's Bernie Sanders, right?
Right, but
I'm a dude who is clearly conservative, and I'm voting for Trump and all of that shit. Look, I call him like I see him. I'm telling you, it might suck to hear, and other Texans might bury me for saying this, but yes, within 10 years, I think Bernie Sanders is correct. This state will flip. Austin is already blue. Mm-hmm. Dallas is already blue. Mm-hmm. Once San Antonio's close, if not blue already. You're not that far away. And I think in this election, you're going to see it. Like, the gap is going to close. And it's going to be, I would say, within 4 points between Trump and Biden in this one. Trump will still win Texas. You're fine in this election. 2024, though, is when you're going to have a dogfight on your hand and going forward after that. Because everybody is moving here from California. The one thing that I don't understand about it is people who are moving from these other states to Texas because of Texas and how great it is. The reason why Texas is awesome, and I love it here. I do. I love Austin. I love where we live. And we've been to a bunch of cities here in this state now. I love Texas. It's awesome. But the reason why I love it is because it's Texas and it's not California. Mm-hmm. I just wish people would remind themselves or just look in the mirror and say, why did I move from my home state to this other state? What happened there? Because California, living there for 18 years, and you lived there for your entire life, essentially, right, before we moved, is the most beautiful state besides Hawaii in the country, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. You drive up and down the coast, it doesn't get much prettier than that as far as the United States go, in my humble opinion on this. With the oceans you have the oceans, the mountains, you can surf, you can ski, you can do everything. Before San Francisco became a shithole, that city was gorgeous, man, and I enjoyed going there. Like every time that I went to San Francisco, I enjoyed going there. All of it changed, and LA has changed, and it's become a shithole. San Francisco is a shithole, like because of the politics and the policies that are going on there. Why that doesn't stay with you of why you move to another state does not make any sense to me. And why you would want it to change after where you came from. Like, that's why you moved, was to get away from that shit. And the same thing will happen with the surrounding states in New York as well. They will all turn blue as well, because everybody leaving New York is going to these other states. And yes, they will eventually turn blue, because it's the same fucking dumb people who are like, oh man, well this is, I love the politics. Clearly that's what ruined your state. But yes, he's right. People were pissed off about it, but it is 100% true, man. Within 10 years, Texas will be blue. And if Austin doesn't change with the way that it's going with the defund the police thing and all that shit, if another governor comes in and overturns Governor Abbott's wheelchair, overturns his shit, Austin will become the next Los Angeles. You can already see it with some homeless people here now. And it's shitty, man. So yes, that is my prediction for the next 10 years. But I think you're fine in this election. Everybody who's been messaging me and all that stuff, Texas is fine for this election, but you're not fine for the future. It will be blue. Mark my fucking words on that.
But that is a good point as far as like, you live in a house and your whatever, like what it was made of, made it light on fire. And so you just leave and make another house somewhere else with the same material, right? Like everything that you did and voted for and everything made it so you wanted to leave, right?
Yeah.
And then you're going to just kind of leave that beside and start it over again somewhere else. That doesn't make sense. We live next to a politician. We won't say who or what, but he sort of is, runs very much on that of like, if you are going to move here, it's cool. But like you're moving here because you like the way we're doing things. So don't,
So bring your politics here. And
let it, move into this.
But it happens everywhere.
Or don't, right?
It happens everywhere. And that's the problem. And there's nothing you can do to stop it or people's ideologies or whatever. Me personally, I don't get it because, as much as I rail on California today, when I lived there was a good 10-year stretch where Los Angeles was on the come up, man. The city was getting cleaned up. They were building up downtown and all of that shit. And I tried to think back as to why. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it was because Schwarzenegger was there. Like he was barely holding it together there, where it was just like, oh, it's great. And then it all went to shit after that. And you could see it. And it happened very quickly. And it was like, I used to get hammered with the question from my friends from home and shit like that of like, why would you move to California? Whatever. Well, first of all, I moved for work, for what I did for a living and all that other shit. Secondly, when I was there, it was pretty. It was beautiful. I enjoyed California. San Diego is a great city. San Francisco was a great city. Los Angeles was a great city for a period of time. It is not anymore. I don't know about San Diego because I have not been back there in a while, but I can vouch for LA and San Francisco. But that's what's going to happen here. Sadly, I have a feeling, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. These people are fucking idiots, in my opinion, where it's just like, come on, man. But the politics will change, and that's it. We're trying to get Abbott on the show next week, or this week, actually, by the way. So see what happens.
Okay.
I think we're close.
We need to definitely stop Dan from saying wheelchair, though, right?
Wheelchair. It was me who screamed out wheelchair.
No, it was Dan who screamed it out. He didn't scream it out. He said it to me quietly when we saw someone in a wheelchair. You didn't realize what we were talking about and said it even louder, to which I ran away because I was so embarrassed. But it did start with all of us walking from a bar.
Yeah.
And Dan saw out of a corner of his eye someone in a wheelchair.
Yep.
And said to us quietly, wheelchair.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. By the way, Rihanna sent in a wheelchair for to the show, to Drinkin Bros, so it's on my desk over there.
Rihanna.
And all she said was wheelchair on it, and
Love.
she's like, "This is for Ross and Dan," so
That's
it's on our
great.
set over there. We're amped about it. So we're trying to get Governor Abbott on the show on Drinkin Bros next week or this week. I don't know why I keep saying that. All the days feel the same.
Sure.
I think once the election's over, I'll be able to put like a mark, like a period of time of like, oh, all right, I'll start going back to knowing which days it is and everything else. I feel like we've recorded 1 million shows because of the election. And it's just going to continue, obviously.
Right.
But that live show is going to be massive for us next week. And if you are in Austin, it's free. So just come. Beers are cheap. I don't know who the main beer sponsor is for that one yet. But either way, we're getting rocked. And it should be an entertaining evening. The prediction that I will keep, prognosticating over and over again is I think there will be a winner that night. And I think Trump will get the Electoral College. I think Democrats will bitch about the mail-in thing, but and that maybe it'll get resolved 2 or 3 weeks later. But I don't think that's going to do much good. And I'm going to stick with that prediction. People are nervous because the media is going full in on Biden on this one. I just don't see it, and I don't see it at the rallies and everything else. So we'll see. Last but not least, I'm just going to ask you to go to iTunes and rate the show a 5-star and leave a quick review. It does not matter how many listeners you have on iTunes. The only way to move up the charts is reviews. We were finding that out with both shows, and it's like I think Drinkin Bros rocketed up to like number 40 or something in the world, and everybody was like, "Whoa, that's shocking!" It was like, "No, we had over 10 million listeners last month, 10.4. Ross Passion Revolution had I think 3.8, and but it doesn't. The charts are unaffected as long as you like don't leave reviews and shit. So please leave reviews. That will rocket it up and then get the show out to more people and all that other stuff. In the meantime, we're super grateful that you guys continue to watch, listen, and rate and review and everything else. And we'll be here with you every single day. Now, the Election Day show, the morning after, is going to be a rough one. The place below us does serve mimosas. So
It's going to have to happen.
Yeah, we're going to have those live on air the next day after that. But we will be doing an election recap show the following day on that. And man, it's real close. We're down to it. Hunter Biden's laptop isn't going to make a fucking difference at this point. It just isn't. We're too close. 60 million people. I wonder if they've updated it. Again, they're predicting the largest turnout since 1908. I'll read you some quick stats real quick of who the people are here. So as of now, the total early votes, this was they go week by week, so I want to preface that. But they're pretty exact. I mean, total early votes as of last Friday were 48 million. And leading the way for early voting was Texas. So out of all 50 states, it is Texas at 5.8 million already in Texas. There's only 30 million people that live here. So that's 1 out of 6 who's already voted.
Right.
That's a big boy number. California is close behind with 5.1. Truthfully, I'm surprised California was not number 1. And then Florida is number 3 at 4.2 million. So those are the big ones here as far as early voting goes. If you're trying to call what that means, they're saying a lot of Democrats are mailing in. So out of this 48 million votes as of that, again, I know the number was 60 yesterday, like we talked about earlier, but this in particular poll here was only going week by week, ending in on a Friday. 34 million out of the 48 million early votes as of Friday were mail-ins. In-person votes were 14 million. So if you're trying to gauge, what this is or what this means, Democrats traditionally vote earlier. I think this year you can throw that out the window because of COVID. With this number of mail-in votes, it's tough to say which side is doing that because they don't want to go out that day, or if they just don't want to deal with the lines and the social distancing and the mask and the 6 feet things. So I'm not going to read into these numbers because I don't really know. And I think this year you can throw that messaging out the window just because of COVID. So who knows? But the turnout is very, very high so far. And you're on track to surpass 1908. So Was not alive then. But that is a lot of people. Why 1908, I wonder?
Yeah, I don't know.
I was trying to think back. Like, it wasn't like a war going on or anything. I mean, I know it was industrialization was happening, but...
I know the Bay City nasty gals weren't around then, so... Or the red wine and blue.
Yeah, and if you're out there tonight, go to a Panera Bread, and then when we're live on air tomorrow, come and follow us on YouTube.
Panera voter.
Let us know if you were at one of these Paneras in Ohio where these meetups are happening, and let us know what's happening there.
Sure.
Dan, my co-host on Drinkin Bros, has a bit on Panera where he's just like, look, it's just a step above hospital food. But it's a comfort food and people love it. Therefore, we always get it. And it's true. Like, yes, that Brock and cheese there at Panera,
sure,
that soup goes down real nice.
Oh, yeah.
I'll always get that Brock and cheese. And the bread is great. And I get the Greek salad with the chicken. I do. That's how many times we've been to Panera.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have grilled cheese, and anybody with a family who's got to pick up grilled cheese on the way home for their children, you're stopping at Panera.
Yeah.
Because the other one wasn't doing it. What was the other place that was across the street from our house? Zachary's?
Oh, Zaxby's.
Zaxby's. Was not a fan of Zaxby's. Everybody else was in North Carolina was not a fan of Zaxby's. But
I am more of a Zaxby voter.
Are you really?
I'm just trying to think like what would be the opposite? Do you know what I mean? Like, so Panera is this,
right,
and Zaxby's is maybe Smithfield. I don't know. I'm a Zaxby voter.
Right.
Bojangles is
the what? Bojangle voter.
Do
people hang
flop
out?
that over to KFC. Probably
a KFC voter.
Cookout.
Cookout
voter. That's very.
Cookout.
Is it very North Carolina? Or
it's only North Carolina.
Geographically specific.
Yeah,
right.
It is Waffle House. We'll flip it over to Waffle House.
Voter.
Waffle House versus Panera voters. I think that's the division there.
Okay.
Is what we need to separate those.
A Ruby Tuesday?
Nope. Those are out of business.
Logan.
No, Logan's Steakhouse is out of business.
Blue Ribbon Diner.
Golden Corral. I am a Golden Corral voter.
A Golden Corral gal?
Yeah, I'm a nasty girl.
Oh, the Corral gals would be great.
Oh,
if you had the Corral gals t-shirt. Yeah, I think it's white. It's Waffle House versus Panera voters, and that's what we're going down to. In this election, you're either Waffle House or Panera in this life, and that's where you're talking about it.
Yeah.
Because Waffle House is the only place that I've seen, me personally, people wearing like MAGA hats inside proudly, where they're just taking a seat at the counter. They're going to take their time with 8 cups of coffee,
right,
and really dig into that Texas toast.
Gigi gave you $15 for your Panera lunch.
Oh, no shit. Perfect amount. That is the perfect amount.
He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He. Yeah. It's a dog picture. We don't know.
Either way, that is the perfect amount. Because like, let's see.
Are you pick 2 guy?
Yeah. Well,
I'm a pick 2er.
If I'm hungover, I'm a pick 2er at Panera. If I'm just going straight menu item that I have to order because of dieting purposes, it's a Greek salad with chicken, and I get extra dressing because the dressings at fucking Panera are yay big. They're fucking. I don't know where the portions are coming from. Like we're in Alive, that movie Alive, where it's like, oh, just save this amount. What are you running out of Italian dressing there at fucking Panera? Beef up your dressings, you fucking dirtbags. And then if I'm hungover though, I'm getting that Brock and cheese soup, and I'm also gonna double down on that grilled cheese.
What about that bread bowl though?
Oh, the bread bowl's amazing, dude.
Can I get on the side?
Yes, dude. I'll get the soup
there we
inside
go,
the bread.
there we go.
If I'm hungover, absolutely, it's the best. I'm as much as I fuck with Panera, dude. Like, I like them. I always get down on Panera.
Yeah.
It is the worst for you, by the way.
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Their dietary facts are horrible.
Well, the salads are fine. You know, whether or not you're shitting through a screen door afterwards is up to you. But now Waffle House, on the other hand, if I've got to pick a true homie in this life, it's Waffle House. Like
the grilled cheesesteak omelet has saved my life on more than one occasion.
Yes, dude. I'll butt fuck a Libs patty melt plate like till the day that I die. I mean, obviously. Sure. Jessie stars in the video Waffle House Waitress that went viral on Facebook that one of my rap songs that I did. Like,
obviously I auditioned.
It's the best. The
and
Waffle House is the best in the land.
I got the part.
I will eat Waffle House till the day that I die. Look, weight aside, if I didn't have to care about weight or looks or appearance in this life, I would start my morning with Waffle House every single morning. We did in high school. Like, God damn it, it's the best. Everything about it too. The bacon, egg, and cheese, Sammy. Is great. You make a great one too, though.
But it's a la Waffle House.
It
I
is.
mean, it's a white bread. It's a,
Yeah.
you know.
And you toast it and you put the mayonnaise in it and everything, and it's delightful.
Meow.
But yeah, Waffle House I will always ride with. Like, you were forever my fucking day one homie, and I'm with you. So
Yeah.
everybody else in the boards out there who's down with Waffle House, like, you're good peeps.
Can I bring back just one more phrase?
God, yeah.
If you like it so much, why don't you marry it? All right,
God
now.
damn it, dude.
What?
We're all done. We're all
there it
done
is.
with the. Nope, we're all done.
I'm gonna
no
take
more
it behind the middle
Borat
school and get it
quotes.
pregnant.
You're what?
I'm gonna take it behind the middle school and get it pregnant.
Oh, that's a newer one.
Is it
Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Morgan? Yeah.
Oh, nice.
We're done with the catchphrases. I'm done with Borat personally. We're all good
Right.
on Borat in this life, and
Only took how many years? But yeah,
well, look, we had to watch it.
sure.
I wasn't gonna not watch it and be
Right.
like, oh, cool, man. I thought the first one was hilarious. You can't bring that character back 15 years later.
Right.
It was too famous. It was just too much fame.
Right.
It just overdid it real quick, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go back from that. The ones that have hung on to, I'm surprised about, like Flo. Every time I see one of those commercials with Flo, I'm like, bro, we were over that like 5 years ago. Why are they still doing that with Progressive?
It's funny.
You like Flo?
Still holds up.
No,
They just did it. Her and Jamie just did one.
no.
It was funny.
Oh, is that the dude's name?
Another game of backgammon? Not on your life. High five. Like, come on.
I
They
respect-
really.
I
What?
respect Flo's career.
Yes, 100%.
As an actor, I respect Flo's career because, look,
She's
has
kept
made
it going.
I think she's made, I want to say that I read it was $16 or $17 million off of the Progressive campaign. Therefore, she could not make that much money starring in like a fucking Marvel movie.
No chance.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, she made the right decision in this life. So did Lily, the AT&T girl. Congratulations. Like, that was the right move.
Right.
If you're hoping for that Marvel movie, like, it's not going to happen anymore.
See, I see her more as a rip-off Flo.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand it. I don't think the Lily girls that, like, those AT&T commercials are fucking boring to me. But I 100% understand that move. And especially since they're talking about the new James Bond. Oh, fuck. We're just keep going, but who gives a
Yeah, we're
shit
in
today?
overtime at this point.
Who gives a shit? With the James Bond thing, there is a bidding war going on right now between Apple, Amazon, and who's the other one? Netflix. To buy the new James Bond movie because it keeps getting pushed.
Oh, that's right.
Now, movie theaters were holding out specifically for the James Bond movie, that this was going to be their savior because it's going to make $1 billion worldwide and all that shit. If this goes to streaming, that is probably the end of theaters. Like, I don't know how much more that these guys can take at that point. So when I read that this morning, I was like, oh, shit, man. That'd be the end of theaters. So keep an eye out on it. I just wonder how much money you would have to pony up for Bond, man. Fuck. Because MGM is about to go bankrupt, the studio. Fun fact. And that was around when it went bankrupt in 2006. The only thing that got that thing out of bankruptcy was another Bond. That's why they dug up that series again. But they're teetering on bankruptcy. So I think they're going to have to make that deal and cut a deal with a streaming service. But it's going to be a lot of money. So we'll see. But that'll be the end of theaters for sure, because they won't be able to last through the holidays at all, which is sad. But I don't know what Vin Diesel's going to do about the last two Fast and Furiouses. They just announced they're only going to do 2 more of those, by the way.
Only 2?
Only 2. So I think by the time they finish shooting, he'll be 62 years old.
Okay.
So get ready. Get ready for Vin, baby. You're going to have to spend your life watching his fucking shitty Instagram. A quarter mile at a time is what you're going to have to do with Vin Diesel. So, anywho's, you look great today. Happy Monday, everyone. We appreciate you joining us. Subscribe to Drinkin Bros podcast on YouTube. That includes all of our shows: Ross Patterson Revolution, Drinkin Broettes, Drinkin Bros Sports, and an American Party, which is a new hit for us at the network, and we're super amped about that. It's become a gigantic show really, really quick, and we're amped about that. You guys did a fantastic job on Saturday with the UFC live show with Dirty Dan and Giorgio, and I think those watch-along reaction shows we're going to do a lot more of, a la Barstool. Dan and I talked about that.
Whenever we're
night.
together, we need to be pronounced as the Sippin' Boys.
Oh, the Sippin' Boys.
Yes, yes.
Are you guys drinking out of little sippy cups too?
We can do scotch out of Sippin' Cups.
Yeah, whatever bit you want, we got
We
it.
can do bibs. We can do diapers.
The Sippin' Boys. I like it. Dirty Dan's pick came through again this weekend, so we'll talk about that on Drinkin Bros Sports. For Jessie Wiseman, a.k.a. The Jables, I'm Ross Patterson. This is The Revolution. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, be back.